Friends, we know that one wrong message can ruin a person's life. But in Anna Duggar's case, that forwarded message changed not only her life, but also the way people now see her. Well, have you ever wondered, what's the difference between love for your husband and blind faith? Anna Duggar is standing right in the middle of that question. Critics say Anna's loyalty and devotion toward her husband has now reached a point where she is denying reality itself. And that is exactly why Anna is once again at the center of controversy. In today's video, I'm going to share some shocking details that may help you understand just how big the secret behind that message really is. Is Anna truly pretending not to know everything? Today, we're talking about an inside story, in a way nobody has explained before. So watch until the very end, because today's drama has a twist that may actually make you feel a little sorry for Anna. Come on, friends, let's uncover the real truth together today.
Just when many people thought the Duggar family saga had finally calmed down, news of a leaked message supposedly connected to Anna Duggar started spreading again across forums, reaction channels, and social media. And immediately, it sparked another huge wave of online debate. But this time, the discussion isn't only about Josh Duggar. It's about Anna herself. More specifically, the claim that Josh's crimes were somehow being described as victimless. And honestly, that single word alone created instant backlash online. Because for many people watching from the outside, there is simply no version of this story where the word victimless makes any sense. And that's exactly why this debate has become so emotional and so divisive. What makes this situation especially interesting is that Anna Duggar has always kept her public image extremely private. For years, she has stayed mostly silent. Even during Josh Duggar's biggest scandals, Anna rarely spoke publicly. She stood beside him in court. She supported him, but she avoided dramatic interviews or emotional public statements. And over time, that silence itself became part of her identity. But now, even one allegedly forwarded message is enough to start a massive debate, as people try to figure out what Anna really believes behind closed doors. And honestly, I think that's why this controversy exploded again. People are no longer only analyzing Josh's actions. Now they're analyzing Anna's mindset too. To truly understand why this debate matters so much, we need to go back and look at the larger history of the Duggar family and Josh Duggar's criminal case. For years, the Duggar family built their image around conservative Christian values, family unity, morality, and discipline. Millions of viewers watched their reality show and saw them as an unusually perfect family. Josh Duggar was introduced as the eldest son, the responsible son, the family-oriented brother with a bright political future. But over time, scandal after scandal slowly began tearing that image apart. The first major public fallout came in 2015, when reports resurfaced about Josh's past inappropriate behavior involving several girls, including his own sisters, during his teenage years. That scandal alone shocked viewers and badly damaged the family's reputation. And this part is important, because many critics believe that was the first time Anna Duggar publicly chose loyalty over accountability. Even after the information became public, Anna stayed with Josh. At the time, many supporters defended her decision. Some believed she was trying to protect her children. Others believed she was trapped inside a very strict belief system that strongly discouraged divorce. And honestly, both of those things could be true at the same time. What's fascinating is that Anna's choices have always been viewed from two completely different perspectives. One side sees devotion and loyalty. The other side sees denial and enabling behavior. And those two perspectives have been fighting online for years. Then came the Ashley Madison scandal in late 2015, when Josh admitted to infidelity and publicly called himself a hypocrite. Once again, the Duggar family faced humiliation in front of millions. And once again, Anna stayed. That decision permanently changed her public image. Some people praised her willingness to forgive. Others believed she was sacrificing her own well-being just to protect appearances and religious expectations. And this matters because by the time Josh was arrested in 2021, many people were already emotionally invested in Anna's decisions. At that point, they were no longer just watching a criminal case. They were watching a marriage that many people believed should have ended years earlier. When Josh Duggar was arrested and later convicted on child sexual abuse material charges, public reaction became far more serious and intense than during previous scandals. This was no longer gossip or infidelity. This involved extremely disturbing criminal charges, and a federal case. And that changed everything. Because this is where public sympathy toward Anna became deeply divided. Some people viewed her as another victim trapped in a restrictive culture. Others believed that continuing to support Josh after overwhelming legal evidence crossed a line. And that debate still continues today. During the trial, Anna was frequently seen attending court proceedings. Photos of her walking beside Josh spread online constantly. People analyzed her expressions, her body language, everything. Comment sections filled up every single day. And interestingly, Anna herself rarely spoke publicly. Most discussions about her came from observations rather than direct statements. And that silence created something strange. People started projecting their own theories onto her. Some believed she secretly suspected Josh but felt trapped financially and religiously. Others believed she completely accepted his innocence. And because Anna gave so little direct communication, speculation only grew bigger and bigger. Now let's move to the controversy surrounding the alleged forwarded message. And it's important to be careful here, because internet discussions often exaggerate details very quickly. Different blogs, forums, and commentators have described the message in different ways over time. But the core controversy centers around the claim that Anna either forwarded or agreed with a message describing Josh's crimes as victimless, or misunderstood. And immediately, that wording angered many people online. Why? Because federal investigators, prosecutors, and child protection experts have repeatedly emphasized that crimes involving child sexual abuse always involve real victims. Real victims. That's exactly why the phrase, victimless crime, became so controversial. Even some people who previously sympathized with Anna started questioning whether her loyalty had gone too far. And honestly, I think this is where the emotional heart of the story truly exists. Because people understand loyalty, they understand emotional struggle, they even understand denial during traumatic situations. But when language appears to minimize victims' suffering, public opinion can change very fast. This becomes especially important because Anna Duggar's public image has always been built around humility, patience, and compassion. But critics now argue that defending Josh too aggressively could permanently damage that image. And honestly, that may already be happening. The online backlash surrounding this controversy has been intense. Some commentators believe Anna has spent years inside a belief system that places protecting her husband and preserving marriage above everything else. They believe she was taught to distrust outside criticism and secular authority. Others are far harsher. Some openly accuse Anna of refusing to accept reality despite overwhelming evidence presented during the federal trial. And because the subject matter of the case is so serious, emotions online quickly became explosive. What's really striking here is how differently people define responsibility in situations like this. For some viewers, Anna is essentially a victim of ideology. For others, adulthood means being held accountable for your own choices, regardless of upbringing. And honestly, this debate may never truly end. Another reason this conversation matters is because the Duggar family has always been extremely careful about managing its public image. For years, television appearances, interviews, and selective public statements helped shape how audiences viewed them. But social media changed everything. Now, leaked texts, screenshots, forwarded messages, and online comments spread instantly. Families can no longer control scandals the way reality TV families once did. And that matters because even indirect comments can suddenly reshape public opinion overnight. One alleged message can dominate online discussion for weeks, while viewers search for clues about what family members are really thinking privately. And in Anna's case, curiosity is even stronger because she remains mostly silent publicly. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates speculation. And social media fills that silence very quickly. Another major part of this story involves religion and social pressure. The Duggar family's belief system has long emphasized patriarchal authority, forgiveness, female submission, and preserving family unity. Critics argue these teachings can sometimes discourage women from leaving harmful situations. Supporters of conservative religious communities strongly reject that criticism. They argue outsiders misunderstand faith, forgiveness, and commitment. And this is where the conversation becomes much larger than just one family. Because many viewers aren't only debating Anna Duggar. They're debating the culture surrounding her. And honestly, I think that's one reason this issue continues resurfacing online year after year. People see the Duggars as symbols of larger conversations about religion, gender roles, accountability, and public image. The victimless controversy became especially emotional because it touched one of the most painful parts of the entire case, the victims themselves. That's why reactions became so intense. Some former Duggar fans who once supported Anna say this controversy completely changed their perspective. Others remain uncertain. Some argue there still isn't enough verified information to fully judge Anna's intentions from an allegedly forwarded message. And honestly, that's also an important point. The internet often turns complicated human situations into simple heroes and villains. Real life is usually much more complicated than that. At the same time, public figures connected
to serious criminal cases inevitably face criticism for their words and actions. And when children and victims are involved, that criticism becomes even stronger. One thing that has always fascinated people about Anna Duggar is the contrast between her calm public appearance and the constant chaos surrounding her life. Even during major scandals, Anna often appeared composed in photos and public appearances. Some people see that as emotional strength. Others see it as emotional suppression. And honestly, outsiders can never truly know which interpretation is correct. But public perception matters. And right now, public opinion surrounding Anna is deeply divided. Another important factor here is timing. Why is this story resurfacing again now? That's a question many commentators have been asking. Part of the answer is probably simple. Duggar-related content still attracts massive attention online. Conversations about the family continue spreading across YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, and entertainment blogs. But I also think people remain fascinated because Anna is still a psychological mystery to many viewers. People continue asking the same question over and over again. What makes someone stay beside their spouse after so many public scandals and a federal conviction? For some people, the answer is faith. For others, fear. For others, denial. And maybe the truth contains all three. What's especially interesting is that Anna herself has never fully explained her inner thoughts publicly in any detailed interview. So instead, people analyze fragments, appearances, and alleged messages. And that has created endless speculation. The public reaction to the word, victimless, also reveals something important about modern audiences. Today, people are extremely sensitive to language involving victims, trauma, and accountability. Even word choice alone can dramatically change public perception. Why does wording matter so much? Because language shapes morality. When someone calls a crime victimless, many people hear it as minimizing real suffering, especially in exploitation cases. And that's why the backlash became immediate and emotional. And honestly, from a public relations perspective, this may be one of the most damaging controversies Anna herself has ever faced. Not because she committed the crimes, but because public sympathy can disappear quickly if audiences believe someone is minimizing victims' suffering. Another interesting aspect is how differently media platforms have reacted to Anna. On some platforms, people sound sympathetic. They discuss religious influence, dependency, psychological control, and restrictive environments. On other platforms, reactions are far less forgiving. Some critics argue it's impossible to separate continued support from moral responsibility after a conviction. And this divided reaction shows just how polarizing the Duggar story still remains. What makes it even more emotional is that it combines children, religion, family loyalty, and public morality all at once. And that combination creates extremely heated online discussions. One thing I personally think is important here is avoiding oversimplification. It's easy to reduce people into one-dimensional internet characters. But human beings are often far more complicated than social media makes them appear. At the same time, public accountability also matters. And that uncomfortable tension sits at the center of this entire debate. Can someone still be held responsible for harmful public messaging, even if they were shaped by a restrictive environment? Many people would say yes. And that's exactly why the controversy keeps growing. The Duggar family's long history with reality television also changes how viewers emotionally react. Over the years, audiences watched birthdays, weddings, pregnancies, and deeply personal family moments. And that creates a strange feeling of familiarity. Fans feel emotionally connected to the family, even though they don't personally know them. And that matters because emotional attachment makes disappointment feel personal. Some former fans feel betrayed by the contrast between the family's wholesome image and the scandals that followed. Others support certain family members while criticizing others. And Anna sits directly in the center of that divide. And because she rarely gives interviews, people often interpret her silence as carrying deeper meaning. Another question many people continue asking is, does Anna truly believe all of this? Friends, these Duggar family stories are truly made for you. I always try bringing you stories that either give you peace, or at least make you smile for a little while. Because honestly, I don't see you as just an audience. I see you as my own people, my own connection. Your support is my greatest strength. And now, what I'm about to tell you next may genuinely surprise you. Anna Duggar forwards message calling Josh Duggar's crime harmless. A newly revealed message from Anna Duggar to her husband, Josh Duggar, is once again drawing attention to the public outrage surrounding the former 19 kids and counting star's criminal case and prison sentence. According to reports, Anna forwarded an email to Josh where she criticized the justice system and described the child's sexual abuse material offenses harmless. She also questioned why Josh received a prison sentence of more than 12 years. The disturbing message, obtained by People, challenged Josh Duggar's 151-month prison sentence and argued that society needs a businessman, a father, a husband, a taxpayer, more prisoners. The email also described the sentence as absolutely insane and suggested the punishment was excessive. Federal investigators previously testified during Josh Duggar's trial that the material discovered on his computer was among the most disturbing content they had ever examined. Homeland Security agent Gerald Faulkner stated during court proceedings that one downloaded video ranked among the 5 most egregious cases he had personally reviewed because it involved the sexual abuse of an 18-month-old child. In 2019, investigators accused Josh Duggar of using hidden software and encrypted partitions to illegally store files. He was later convicted in December 2021 for receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material. Afterward, he was sentenced to more than 12 years in federal prison and is currently being held at FCIC Goville in Texas. Following multiple sentence adjustments, court documents now list his possible release date as February 2033. Meanwhile, his legal team continues appealing the conviction. This latest controversy comes while the Duggar family faces renewed scrutiny following the recent arrest of Josh Duggar's younger brother, Joseph Duggar, in a separate child sexual abuse case in Florida. The Duggar family first rose to fame through TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, which followed the lives of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar and their 19 children. The series became one of TLC's biggest reality TV franchises, before years of scandals permanently changed the family's public image.